going to make a beautiful card today. This week was my WI, Spa Sweetheart's 10th birthday, and we made a really simple pop-up card. And it made me start thinking about pop-up cards. So on the outside we've got a nice picture, but when we open it up we've got the beauty of having a card that opens up like that. So it's got a nice flower inside it. These flowers, star flowers I'm going to call them, can be used for several different things that we're going to talk about at the end, so you can see how nice they look. So because we're in our paper craft zone, what we really need is our simple equipment. We need our scissors as normal, we need our glue, which is just normal glue stick, and we need some paper. Now I'm going to do a 15 centimetre square, okay, and I'm just going to remind you that using the back of one of these cards is a great thing. So when you've got a stack of those papers and you get to the last one, there'll be a cardboard square on the back. Rip it off, gives you a really great 15 centimetre square to use when you're doing that. But really you can do it with any square. If your paper is a different size, whatever, as long as it's a square when you're starting, that's all that matters. When we've got this, I think that this looks better in double-sided paper. So I've tried it with both of them. I've tried it with a paper like this that has white on the end, and I tried it with the double-sided, and it actually looks better with the double-sided because you are seeing a little bit of both sides as it goes. You'll be looking kind of under the flower. So it's nice to have this double-sided, and it's nice to use our double-sided paper for a good reason when we're seeing both of them and not wasting it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our piece of paper and we're going to fold it in half. So we're going to fold it in half this way. Obviously folding in half is harder than it sounds, but we're going to fold it in half this way. So I'm just going to draw a line. If you're wondering why I have a felt tip pen here, you don't need it. It is purely for me to show you. You don't need to draw these lines at all. So that's where we're folding the first time, and then we're making a really good fold. Then we're going to do it again so that we have folded it into quarters. So we're going to fold that way, and then we're going to fold that way, and then we are going to cut it out. So we're going to cut those and we're going to end up with quarters. So then we've got quarter sizes, because otherwise our flower is gigantic and way too big. So we've got 4. Oh, I've got that the wrong way around. I'll show you. We've got 4. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing again because we need 8. So we needed to start with 2 pieces of paper to make our whole flower, and we need 8. Actually, we only need 7 to make our flower, and we're just going to have a bonus one because it's easier to put it into 8s. Okay, so first of all we have all our little squares on here. I've got some double-sided and some not for you to see at the camera, but you don't need to keep switching around like this. Just stick with whatever you've got. You could do this with just a piece of white A4 paper if that's all that you've got. Make sure that you have got 7 squares the same size, and these squares are now, if I was mathematical I could work that out, couldn't I? But I'm actually just going to measure 7 centimetres. So these are little 7 centimetre squares, which makes a good star flower that just fits inside a regular sized card. You can do that. So we've got ourselves a load of squares, and then we're going to do our folding. Now I'm just going to switch on to a bigger one for you so that you can see it, but you just be folding this on your small one. And the first one we're going to do is fold it again in half, but this time the other kind of half. So we're going to go across the middle, one corner to one corner. So you may need to pause this video a couple of times to have a look at the folds as I'm doing them. So just make sure you've got them there in shot, and then we're going to fold over so that we now have a triangle. We're now going to fold our triangle again down the centre line. So this point is going to go to this point, and we're making a good fold. Always keep putting it down and making ourselves a good fold. We've got another triangle, and then this is our last time of folding. We're going to fold down here. So again, across the middle, same fold. So we did it 3 times. We have now got Nick coming to help. Hello, Nick. Nick has been very excited today because there are some builders opposite with a swingy crane, which is very exciting to try and look at chasing, isn't it, Nick? Okay, nobody wants to see that end of you, darling. Okay, so we'll just see if we can do this with Nick jumping up. So we've got our triangle now, and our triangle was folded 3 times. So we went 1, 2, 3 to get it like this. And now we're going to do our next fold. No, we're not going to do our next fold, we're going to do our next cut. We're going to get our scissors here and we're going to do this. I think it might be a little bit tricky, darling, for me to do this complicated paper folding with only one hand. I think perhaps it would be better if you went and talked to our director there. You might be noticing the beautiful turkeys that are on my dress here. This is my turkey dress. There are turkeys along the bottom, but you can't see those ones, and a fox in the middle. What we're going to do now is turn this into a kite shape. So our kite shape is going to be cut like that. Can we see that, director? Okay, so we're going to cut across the top. So we're going to go 1, 2, and that bit will then be thrown away. So we have this like this, and we need to do that with all of them. So we need to end up with 7 that look exactly like that. Now, if you want to make sure that they are exactly the same size as each other, you can use one of them as a template for all the others. I tried it being massively accurate, and I tried it being less accurate, and actually I'm not that bothered. But what I mean is, you've got your one like this, and in order to get that exact same top, when you've done another one, you just put it on top of it and then use that to show you where to cut. So I'm just holding it all together. You could draw with a pencil if you wanted, or you can just hold, and then they'll all have exactly the same top. But the other thing you can do is just totally freehand that. As long as you end up with 7 of these little beauties together like that, that's what you want. So 7 little folded kites. And then you're going to open them up. So we're going to open it up like that. Now, in itself, that's exciting enough that we've just created a lovely little star like that, and you might want to use that as a garland and some Christmas crafts just at that point, and that might be what you want to do. But we're now going to cut out 1 quadrant. So when you're looking, you can see that you have got lots of lines on there, and we're going to cut just 1 of them out. If you remember the paper rose we did, it's quite similar to that. So when we cut just 1 of them out, we're going to end up with this. Okay, so we have got 1 missing there. Keep the one that you've got out, because that's going to form the front of the card. So don't get rid of that one. Just do snip, snip, and then you've got that. So when you've got those all like that, you've got it. I'm going on to this little double-sided one now. I've opened it out and I've cut out 1 of my quarters, and I've kept that quarter. Okay, so I'm going to go snip, snip. It's not a quarter, of course, is it? It's an 1/8. We're going to do that. We're going to keep it up. Now we're going to glue, and I'm just going to show you that we are going to glue on the next quarter. So where I put that squiggly line is where we're going to put our glue, and then we're going to pull it round like that to stick it together. So I'm just going to do that in front of you. We're going to put some glue on just 1 quarter. We need to be careful with where we're placing our glue in this one, that it's not going over onto the next bit. And then you've pulled it together like that. Just stuck 1 quarter over the top of the other one, and we've got that. Now on its own, this looks pretty beautiful. If that was a Christmassy one, you would then hang these up. You could put a needle and thread up through the middle and have loads of these hanging along, or have them hanging like that. That would look really, really good like that. And you're going to do that with all 7. So you're going to pull your 7 together here, and then they're all going to be looking gorgeous. Then you're going to squash them. Just flatten them all down so that they look like that, and you've got 3 points, because we've now got 6 points here. Okay, Nick's just coming off the side there. Director, perhaps you could encourage Nick to go somewhere else while we're doing this, because we're about to get to the most complicated bit. So we're going to squash them all down so that they are all looking the same. So we've now got 7 looking the same. They look like a kind of lotus flower at this point. Okay, so we've got them all looking. Now this is the most complicated bit. and I have some little notes to help me remember exactly where it is here, so I'm just going to make sure I can see them, because we need to just use a small amount of glue now. And now we're constructing, so we've done our flower, but it needs to be stuck into a particular way so that it will open in this lovely way when we're doing it. So the first thing we're going to do is get one of them, and we're going to put glue on that one and that one. So the dots are here if you have to pause it. So it's just on the end, only the very end part, there and there. So we're just going to do it on the end part, not the whole quarter, just that end bit, so that we still get the movement when we're doing it. When we've got it like that, we're going to stick one right on top of the other one. So that's going to go there like that, and I'm just going to pinch that end, and then that's going to go there like that, and I'm just pinching the end, but I'm just reiterating the glue is just on the end. It's not over the whole quadrant this time, it's just a little spot of it at the end. So exactly where my fingers are now is the only spot that's glued. Okay, so that was number 2. Now for the next one, we're going to do glue little spots just in the middle 3. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 dots. Director, can we see those dots nice and clearly when I hold them like that, the purple dots? Okay, brilliant. So 1, 2, 3 is where we're going to put our second lot of glue. 1, 2, 3. You don't need to put the purple dot there first. And then we're going to stick another one of these on top. So it'll just be the first 3, the top 3 dots that are sticking. So now we have another one on top, and there, and it's sticking like that. So that was the second one. Okay, so for the third one, we're going to do, I'm just checking where the third one is, yes, we're going to do opposite dots. Oh, I went wrong. I'm going to do opposite dots. It's all right because I can turn it over and you'll never know I made a mistake. So we're not going to do number 1, we're going to do 2 and 3, we're not doing 4, and we're going to do 5 and 6, and we're not doing 7. So just have a look at where that is. So we're gluing those 2 and those 2 just at the end. Okay, I'm going to put my glue there, 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 there. Still only paper sticking together, no weight. So we're going to stick these 2 facing each other. So this one is going to go here, and this one is going to go here next to it. And there's nothing in that middle one. So these 2 have their 2 points together. Where my finger is, I haven't stuck one on top, and I've stuck the 3 there and the 3 there this time. Okay? And then we're going to go back to what we did beforehand, which is the middle 3. So where the purple dots are there, 1, 2, 3. That's it. And that's going to be our last one. So we now get one of these, and we put that on top. So that was there, there, ooh, there. That one, that one, that one. Okay, because I was picking it up. Now you'll see that you have a whole 3 here and the same on the other side, and now you're going to put glue on that. So the top 3, the one that you've got at the top, that's going to have glue, and this time it's going to go all over it. So I'm just going to show the with my felt tip pen where your glue is going. Okay, so your glue is going all over those middle 3. So that's where that's going on both sides, that side and the other side. I keep sticking it to the table because I'm putting it down. Okay, that side and that side. We're now going to get our card, and we're going to stick it in. So when you stick it in, it needs to look like that, with the empty V pointing towards the centre. So it looks like that. So you stick it down like that, and this is our central line here. Then fold your card over and give it a push down. When you're opening it, you need to open it gently the first time, especially if the glue isn't completely dried yet, just so you can see it. and then when you gently open it, your flower will look like that. Beautiful. It's also not too thick. Sometimes I say to you, this is a card for giving and not for sending, but this is absolutely for sending because it's exciting and pop up, but it's all squashed down. Now you remember you had all these things left over? You can put them on the front of your card. Just by gluing them together, I used only 7 of them there, and then 1 of them was off on the side. With that one I used all 8 of them on the front. You could obviously use them in the corners as well, so stick them into the corners like that and put them all together and do something else. You could use other ones and overlap them in between with a different colour. You can put a centre on, anything like that. You've got all those different ways of using that, and you are going to end up with this beautiful card where those star flowers have several different uses. The complicated bit is working out where to glue it, so just pause and keep watching that several times, and hopefully you'll have a beautiful card. And I'll see you soon for more crafting fun.